There's the computer lady. And here comes the unlucky bunch again. Woo!
Yay.
Welcome back. Our last session, the party of heroes. Let's say that. Heroes.
That's a strong word.
Traveled
I
out.
need a cape.
No capes.
No capes.
Capes.
We also believe in what Ed just said. No capes.
You all traveled out to the island where all the wizard schools of Lithia reside. It was festival time. It was a huge party, basically, but very politically oriented party where students went and demonstrated their desires to join particular schools. There being 5 main schools of wizardry that exist in this particular area. Everyone who goes sort of tries out, and this day of trials happened to be disrupted by an orchestrated attack on the entire festival by a significant group of Crimson Crescent cultists, along with a leader who seemed to be a bit more than you have encountered previously.
Thank God we were here, because if there wasn't anyone competent here, everyone would have died.
The party, along with a number of local patrols of Lithian Guard, responded to the attack, jumped into a vicious, if short-lived, fight. You all battled and took the malformed leader down right in the middle of the wizard's arena. Then managed to put down all of the rest of the attack without excessive damage to the surrounding area. Some of the guard and many innocent bystanders were actually taken out by the cultists. The guard seemed to fare reasonably well, only losing a handful of members. However, it was a hard-fought battle for them. The great wizard schools rolled up their doormats and locked the front door, tucking all their students away inside.
Oh boy.
They turtled up in a big hurry.
Magic schools are made of bitch, it seems, yes.
And there was only one student that didn't actually hide. One Shadow Wing, I believe, is how she was referring to herself.
Yes.
And now she's standing and chatting with a hooded man, whom some of you had interactions with along the way. You all stand victorious, and now you have to figure out what you're doing next.
I know what I'm going to do next.
Looting the body.
Absolutely true to form.
Guess what?
Tell us, it disappears.
He doesn't have anything.
Oh.
He brought 0 things with him.
No jewelry, no nothing.
How do you show up at a party and not bring anything? Come on.
No snacks, no juices, no juice boxes, nothing.
Right?
Yeah.
Not even gum.
We have to bring enough for all the class if you bring gum.
Well, true.
Do me a favor. Give me a 20-sided roll for investigation.
He brought plenty of gumption, but it was not enough.
Gumption.
Yes,
He talked a lot of shit before getting pushed into the ground.
Where's my? There it is. 18 plus 5 is 23.
So as you're there, you notice 2 important things. One, as you look where shoes or boots or some form of footwear should be, he has sort of strapped on / bolted on mini stilts.
What is with these
Like
guys?
the other lady did.
Right. So he was not touching the ground when he was standing. Now that he's laying on the ground, you can see some of the parts of him that are touching the ground are starting to sizzle and melt.
That's uncomfortable.
So what causes creatures or individuals to become violently affected by natural ground? Are they from a different dimension, a different
Those
plane
are
of
those
existence?
have probably have been enhanced in some way by the cult. So once you've been superpowered by the cult, you have an aversion, an allergy to gravity.
Ground.
Yeah, you can't be-
You have an allergy to the world that you are attempting to destroy.
Yeah.
The ground itself is anathema. Anathema? I don't know how to pronounce that.
Anathema.
Anathema.
Yeah, anathema.
And then
Not
Onomatopoeia.
that's different.
onomatopoeias, yeah.
Gesundheit.
Okay, well,
So, as you have figured out, in opposition to that, if you have a certain amount of grounded contact, aka golden ankle bracelets that drag on the earth and touch your skin, you have a certain opposition to that.
Oh, Holden. If we have the next one, you should see if we could get it attached to them.
I'm wearing the other one.
Oh,
That
you're
would
wearing
be-
the other one.
Yeah, that would be. But I
Oh,
like
that's a
the
fan.
idea.
Next time we should see if we could attach Elsbeth to one of them. Sorry, I had to.
Yeah, I get
no,
it. I get
nope.
it.
That's a valid
I was
strategy.
bitching about hit points for level up.
Yes.
I'm gonna open all the mockery for this session.
I'm
Listen.
picturing flying the Elspeth kite.
Come here, let's see what happens.
Hold your arms out further. Spread out your arms.
Lean, lean.
God.
For those of you watching at home, I have, I think, the lowest hit points I've ever seen of a character at 7th level. Because I made a choice at character creation and I'm sticking with it.
That's what we
bro-
like. You don't have
Yes.
to be, you don't have to be a beast. You don't have to be a monster. You have to be creative, and that's what we like.
Yes,
That's what
and-
we've been doing.
Creative and sad and made of tissue paper.
Speaking,
Like wet
speaking
tissue
of,
paper.
Matt, Elsbeth is going to look around and shout out, "It's all clear. Come on out."
I'm gonna take a look around and see what the guards are doing now that we've basically outed ourselves as able-bodied individuals.
Oh shit, they're gonna think we're important.
So, I need each of you to give me a perception, a 20-sider roll.
Damn.
And here I thought we
Gosh.
weren't going to roll dice. Silly
Yeah.
me.
Silly you.
Perception.
We will
16.
always find a way to make us roll
20.
Dirty 20.
8.
Yeah, dirty 20.
25.
Okay. Dundon and Thea, you specifically notice the guards. They are they have found one of the 5 different patrols. They've found the highest ranking individual. They are starting to do the military organized thing. He's in charge. He's saying, this person, you do this. This person, you do this. You go round this up. You go round this up. And they're doing the assignments of, these people need help. You're the runner. Go for the healers. All that kind of thing. They are organizing. They are making it so that they will be able to question people and round up a full report of how all of these weapons managed to get here.
What weapons? I don't see no weapons.
Yep. No, we should not be here.
Yaru,
The bureaucrat.
you're kind of focused. Most of the cultists, you see the one that's getting smoldery, but beyond that, the rest of them are kind of aside from the two with chains, most of them are kind of run of the mill, like people who got duped into this,
Right. Fodder.
or true believers. No telling.
Not anymore.
Elspeth, you got an 8. Did I hear?
Yeah, on perception, yeah.
You're busy raging. You're like yelling at doors and stuff. You
No,
can
I'm not
come
doing that yet. I'm yelling, I'm making a signal. It's clear. Come out.
Yes, he's basically goading the magic schools into facing his wrath.
And Azathan, you immediately lock on to the fact that the hooded guy that you were talking to is still just hanging out, ignoring all of this, talking to the young lady who didn't run.
I'm still standing next to them intentionally.
So either
I have theories.
he's either immensely stupid or has the luxury of that degree of ignorance and apathy.
Oh, there's
All
another option.
Yeah. There's another option.
He tilts his head and he sees that you've kind of locked on to him.
Mhm.
And he looks up, peeks out of the hood, kind of a thing. He's like, huh. Well, since you've wrapped that up, perhaps we should go someplace and chat. Would any of you
Yes.
be interested?
Yes.
I very much would be interested.
I think we should probably make ourselves a little bit scarce before the
Discretion
local
is
constabulary decides to tie up the next 6 to 8 months of our time.
yes. Discretion is the better part of valor in this case.
Ungrateful lot. Next time they can deal with it themselves.
No, we both know that they can.
Can you imagine
is
what
not
Eric
our-
would have done? Can you imagine what Eric would have done if we would have said, "Oh, that's not us,"
Not our
and
issue.
we all just headed back to the
Walk
house?
away.
I shut the door.
Yeah,
Now I start to
That's,
know my
it
monkeys.
works.
that's an awful lot of red. Clearly nothing good is happening over there. I'm gonna go take a nap. Thanks.
Tis
Yeah,
a
right?
silly place.
Oh, that looks like a cool vendor. Let's go check it out.
Stop at the market,
this-
pick up some cheese.
What is this? What's that part of the hero's journey? The denying the call.
Yep.
I feel like
immediately after.
you
Mm.
have no choice. Yes. I feel like we've been trying to deny the call on a regular basis, but it's just like, no, you get to be big damn heroes today. Shit. Fine.
The call's not calling anymore. It's showing up and knocking.
I was just trying to go to Tashi Station for some power converters.
Right?
And now it's drug us out by our, well, I'd say boots, but most of us are not even wearing shoes anymore.
I am wearing shoes still.
Yeah.
It's poking through.
The call has gotten collection agents after us.
They have drug us out. They've drug us outside by our fucking ankles and have beaten us to death. The stick of destiny. Ugh.
Here's what you're gonna do. Here's what you're gonna do.
You have a destiny, and you have a destiny.
Save the world! Save the world!
The
the
destiny only
world-
works if you think it through. Just got to turn the mind off, and then you're good. Just let it happen.
God. So please let's go have a conversation
Yes,
So-
elsewhere.
This individual
Mhm.
says perhaps it would be a good idea if we didn't all cluster about.
Mhm.
Some of you can go between the building and the seating over there. Some of us can go around the other side of Mystic Chalice. There is a wonderful restaurant on the other side, but then we can go to Undermeat, and we'll regather there, and then I will get us away from here. Does that sound
You see-
acceptable?
Yeah, you see me get Dundon's attention?
Yep.
Eternal Garden, let's go.
Woo! We're gone.
So we're gonna start walking around the between the Eternal Garden and the Patrolo 2, where there's
Okay.
that little gazebo. We're gonna start walking out that way as a pair.
Okay.
I'm gonna look between Elsbeth and Thea. It would be best if I didn't leave her unattended. We'll meet you there, and I will go. I will go grab Thea and then disperse.
No
Like to
trust.
stay
What
with-
could I get in trouble just meeting up at a restaurant?
I'd like to stay with Shadowwing.
I have immense confidence in your ability to get up to any kind of nonsense in the smallest amount of time.
Yeah, and we did that so you'd have a chance to cop a feel. So done and we're busy.
Yeah, we're on our way. Elsbeth is
Yeah, it's the
Else
part of the
thing.
it's part of the hero's journey they don't tell you about, the get some part of it.
God.
So
Here's Journey, written by Freud.
as you head around and out, you realize the guards have taken no notice of what you're up to. None of you.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
good.
zero
You were
cordon around
dispersed?
this. Yeah,
What's that?
there is zero cordon around the edge. They have not contained this in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, that they are so busy trying to wrap up crowd people. There's still people kind of scattering and running. You are in the immediate post battle thing, and you have very easily and very successfully snuck out, basically.
Yeah.
What you didn't realize is that you didn't ask what undermeat was.
Nope. We'll get to the restaurant and figure out
thought
the rest. later.
Undermeat was the restaurant we went to originally.
I had debated on whether or not to ask, but I figured we'd all get there
I
eventually.
thought it was the place that Yaru and I went to that was like the cafeteria style place where like everything was. Wasn't that Undermeats?
Nope.
No.
The heck was that place?
Well,
Is
that's
that even here?
no, that's off the island.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was
That's back
that was,
on the mainland around Bend.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that
That's
was
what-
on the other side of the tax bridge. Yes.
When you went around the bend.
Yes.
Yes.
This is also why I stuck with Shadowwing and the Strange Gentleman.
And I figure we can find them because Elspeth stands out like a fart in a rainstorm. I may not be able to see, but I can smell.
Bag of wet mice.
Yep.
Between Thea and I will find you.
So it really isn't far. When you get around to where this restaurant is, and let me see if I can get a little marker on here. Where's my pointer? I need a pointer. There's the pointer. Basically, under meat, if you could see on the
Yay.
map, under meat is a term that is used in Lithia for the place under a bridge where there is still footing that you can stand on and essentially be out of view for anyone who is in the building above or on the bridge or something of that nature. So as you get in there, you kind of slide past the restaurant. There's a series of steps right here,
Mm-hmm.
and the undermeat portion, there's a little, essentially a landing just underneath this bridge building in between that helps people go back and forth from the restaurant to this other portion of the island out here.
Nice.
Right up under here is where you all regather, and it was fairly straightforward. I mean, it was pretty easy to sort of sneak around and get down here and come around here and get back out there, and it's relatively easy to get there.
Exactly. He's taking the family circus route.
And then the cloud of spores.
When you get there, the individual says, if you are all willing, I can help us travel. Is this something that you find acceptable?
Define travel.
And
And
where
who are
to?
you?
Oh, someone's caught up with the class. Finally.
I was expecting some kind of grandiose reveal and monologue, but
I was hoping for drinks and something to eat, but whatever.
Well,
Dungeon
if you
is
are
our
all willing,
pragmatist.
I will take you to my modest townhome via mumble, mumble, mumble. A door into inky blackness opens up. And he says, "This way, please." And steps through.
All right.
Is, Songbird with him? What was her
Yes.
name?
He
Nightingale.
goes with.
Shadowwing.
Nightwing.
Nightwing.
Shadowwing.
Shadow. Is it a hero name or is it anything else? I'll step through the portal.
He is gonna follow.
Yeah, may as well go.
Me too,
Maybe there'll
yeah.
be food.
Okay. You, as Elsbeth, as a wizard, you're like, oh, he just dropped some magic.
Oh, yeah.
He
I'm
just went,
debating mentally which spell it was.
he just said, I'm gonna make a door. Let's go home.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're really kind of not sure. That could have been big.
I'm wondering if it was a gateway or a magnificent mansion.
So as you step through, you then pop out the door on the other side.
Bloop.
And hopefully, if we
It's
did this
literally
right,
one building over, right?
hopefully, if we did this right,
Ooh, how pretty.
you land at his home. Ooh, I realized the other thing we haven't done. And Azathan ran away just at the moment when I had my realization.
Yeah, I just saw something.
What did I run away from?
We haven't shared the screen so that it's part of the recording.
Oh, yes.
All been theater of the mind.
We're all very
Dude, just fine.
Well done.
And for those of you that were following along at home, we hadn't left the map from the last episode. So go back to the last episode, get a picture of that in your mind, and then join
And then
us.
disregard it.
now you can ignore it.
Turn to page 7 in your coloring books.
And
It's
if
always
you don't stay within the lines, that's okay.
we haven't been.
No one ever does.
And remember, your crayons are edible.
We're not training the resist, relax.
I have a story for that one offline.
That's a terrifying sentence.
Edible crayons and story time. That's the one with a kid.
Nope.
Yes, it is.
No, I have one. I have one involves Marines.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
All children, Marines. Is there really that much of a difference?
Size.
Just the heavy armament. As you exit said magic travel arrangement, you come into a really, really nice little house. Polished wooden floors, very comfortable temperature, padded furniture, wooden walls in the interior, stone walls around the exterior. It's really
not the
it's
manner we just rubbed.
what's that?
It's not the manner we just rubbed. Excellent.
I'm having a hard time hearing.
Yeah, you're not speaking into your mic, dude.
En inglés, por favor.
I don't know how I can speak any more into the mic directly next to my face. I said, oh, good. It's not the manner we just robbed.
Thank you.
That would have been a wonderful twist, and I wish I had thought of it.
So yeah. So I look out. I see their window, or at least a window. I look out it. What do I see?
The
Bird is staring back at me.
Oh, yes, that window. That window shouldn't be there. However,
Oh,
whoops. Eric botched the map.
Well,
However,
maybe it's a mirror.
maybe it's a painting. Yeah.
Since it's there,
Okay.
you look out the window and you are on an island that is relatively close to where you just were. This was
So
not.
there's a view of Lithia outside.
Yep.
Thank
Right.
you. I
So
just
we're not
wanted to
in
make
that-
sure
Yeah.
eternal plane of flame,
Yeah, like
black abyss, Manhattan. These all would have been bad signs.
It is actually not even that far away from where you were.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, you dropped high level magic to get us like what, 500 feet?
Now you're not so sure how high level it was.
So, well, I mean, just the fact that he opened a door that could take us from one spot to another spot with really no effort. It's impressive.
Yeah, it could be upcast dimension door. It still means he's probably high rank in Mojo.
Are we possibly in the little tiny roundish thing in the water next to where we were?
No, but you're really not far off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we okay?
There
I'm
does
not
seem
seeing
to
the
be
map. I couldn't guess.
there does seem to be something of a garden outside.
Hmm.
So perhaps the building that you took for a once upon a time school wasn't really a school. It was more of a
Yeah.
residence.
So
Or-
it's just literally a hop, skip, and a jump across.
Yep.
That's
So Thea's gonna look at the mystery dude and go, and you are.
My name is Morgan.
What was that? Morden?
Morgan.
Morgan. With a
Morgan.
G? Like Freeman?
Morgan. Morgan. And Elsbeth cocks her head
Yeah.
and says, "Wait, Morgan, that rings a bell with you."
Oh yeah. Morgan what?
Why do you ask? You have a very odd look, young lady.
Because if it's the name I think it is, I'm familiar with it.
Ugh. No autographs, please. And he actually then proceeds to walk around the corner and start pulling out a bottle and glasses so that people can have drinks.
damn. Let's go.
All right. Excellent. I won't say no to hospitality.
So he gathers up some stuff, heads over to the table. There aren't really enough chairs, but he'll grab the two from the card table.
Understand.
So you can all get in there and essentially hang out. And he is completely willing to take whichever seat is left available. And your girl is just looking kind of stunned.
So does he still have his staffy looking thing that I recognized last session as being similar to Iadu's staff?
His staff? Oh, that's right. You do
Mhm.
you do see that he has that with him. Elspeth, make a roll for me.
What kind of role?
Knowledge with wizardry somehow, whatever your
Arcana.
knowledge, your arcana.
Cinnamon, jelly.
15.
You kind of, you're like, that looks like a really, that can't be what I think that is. That can't be that, because that's immensely powerful. That can't be that.
And what is it that I think it can't be?
Staff of the Magi.
Ah,
And as you kind of glance around, slung over the back of the chair or the couch is a robe that looks like it goes with it.
How neat.
He wasn't even wearing it. So,
Thea, please sit over here.
Ah, what? I just wanted to look.
Yeah, there's 250,000 gold pieces in this room. You're sitting over there. Yes,
Nobody put baby in a corner.
but we always put Thea in the corner.
Yeah, ain't baby. All right. So
I'm
we're
sorry,
all hunkering
Mia's-
around.
Mia's having no idea about like the importance of any of these items. I'm just sitting here like, this must be important. It must be cashmere.
What
is that, velvet?
It is powerful enough to be recognizable magic items. How about that? In the same way that you have collected the Twilight Codex.
Yeah.
Fair.
Similar
is it-
concept.
So it is a kind of item that Elsbeth would recognize. Is it?
Yeah, there's just enough uncertainty that you're like, how is Schlubby guy who's
No,
not drawing attention?
If he's who I think he is, I buy it.
I have no idea who this is.
Do share.
Oh, me,
Yeah.
me, the player. Morgan Flamedrake.
Who?
You
He
remember
sighs.
Flamethrower.
He
Way
sighs
back
and
when
he
I
says,
was very excited over some notes we found.
Oh, his notes?
He's the least connected to them.
he sighs and he says, yes, I am Morgan Flamedrake or Firedrake, depending on who you're talking to. That is me. And all of you are
Elsbeth and Osa.
Azathan Delmoye.
Thea.
Oh, we've learned since then, halfway.
Maybe slow, but I do eventually get it.
Finished in a long
I
maze.
can see it through a brick wall in time.
Iado Talon.
excellent. Talon.
Yes,
Not heard
from that
name, not heard
from
that
that-
name before.
clan.
Do a whatever perception amounts to these days.
Perception.
Perception.
Is it social perception or physical perception?
It don't matter. It's a 2.
God dang.
You right by you miss it.
I'm going to politely gesture to Dundon. That's Dundon. He seems to be going for the strong silent type right now.
I
Which
didn't
is-
say my name, but that's fine.
Busy having a drink.
Hey, it's been a while.
We appreciate the finer things. And the not so fine things.
And you met Shadowwing.
Ah, yes. My dear, please sit down. You look a bit shell-shocked. For your reference, for everyone else's reference, I have made an offer to young Miss to not go to any of those schools.
I can understand that.
Schools.
Words.
That seems like that's the only actual offer that's available there.
I happen to know a handful of others who are perhaps better suited to allow her talents to move forward in a better way. I went for substance over show. However, this does have a certain level of political ramifications. So it may, in fact, be better for those of you here to not necessarily associate yourselves with that if you're interested in maintaining any level of political clout here in Lithia. Selection day is quite a big deal in those social circles.
I saw absolutely nothing. I saw nothing there.
I saw a lot of people
In the
who
people in the show, in the actions done.
It's magical theater. It's pretense.
Theater. I've been to plays more interesting than that.
I don't know. Some of us did nearly
Rings
die,
with more power than that.
and a lot of people did die.
I'm not talking the attack.
Hmm.
No, but seeing as this was their dog and pony show of their power, yeah, it was interrupted by attack, but it just showed how insubstantial it all is.
Even Musclehead was useless.
Yeah, we are here to make a difference in the world. They are here to annoy us by not making a difference in the world.
Also, I'm in Onosa. Any clout I'd have in Lithia is instantly undercut.
You see the wheels turn. He's like, oh, Inosa. You have already made waves. And it is perhaps a better thing that we've come here. You'll be okay. Just, you may want to invest in a hood.
We say that every day. Good luck.
We keep
There's
offering
some
to shave
mud
her
on her
head.
hair.
I've been using a
Saberhead,
hood. I've been encouraged to get either the dye removed or a wig.
And
That peril.
don't be too hard on Uzold, the head of the physical adepts. He turns out very healthy wizards.
To be fair,
A certain amount of survivability there.
he was the only one that was helpful.
Yeah, the only one who tried to make a difference in the world. He has my respect from that perspective, whether he was successful or not.
Fair enough.
He was the only one that didn't immediately run and hide inside their house.
Ah, perspective. It was run and hide, or it was save the incompetent children of all of the people in political power in Lithia.
Savior funding.
Yes. The ruthless one has it on the nose.
Ruthless.
But
That's
if
appropriate.
but once they're done with that political boutique, the end product seems insufficient to make Lithia survive.
You are correct.
If they're a net importer of balls, we're here.
And you all have now come to the same realization that many of the rest of us did a very long time ago. True power won't be on display. If you want to develop, if you want to learn magic, there's always a cost.
Isn't there ever?
he kind of smirks at you a little bit. He says, but there always needs to be a basis. And he's actually gesturing with his left hand. His right hand isn't really doing anything. It's just kind of hanging out.
Hmm.
So I am going to, it was Shadow Wing. Yes, Shadow Wing. Yes, dear. I am going to bring you along to a friend of mine, a certain individual named Orshan. Orshan is a delightful master of indirection, and you will learn some truly amazing wizardry. But it is hard study, and there is no room for political nonsense. Can you live with that? And or can you live without the approval of your family?
I'm gonna look at Shadowwing because I'm curious in her answer.
She has turned like extra pale, and her eyes are really big, and she hesitantly says, I want to learn. I need to know.
That's the correct decision. As important as you feel it is now, it's never worth hanging on to those things in the long run.
And when you have a good life 20 years from now, remember this moment. You made the right choice.
I'm just gonna beam at her because I was hoping she'd say that.
Internally, I've got proud papa syndrome right now, and I don't even know her.
Fuck the nobility.
Yep.
Ah,
FTN, baby. FTN.
Dundon headed for more drinks.
I'm going to join Dundon.
That was quite a nice drama.
Excellent. Well then, as for the rest of you, other than avoiding the constable and his cohort, what other assistance might you need here in Lithia?
I look over at Azathan.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because you know the whole story and I know I don't.
that's fair.
We need
All
on
right.
one level, we need answers.
Don't we all? All right. Give me a minute. The player is checking his notes.
May I step in then, Holden, while you're checking things?
For a brief note, yes.
I was gonna say, because you won't like what Thea's about to say.
Oh God, please don't let Thea talk.
But
Exactly why I was trying to do what I did.
I reach into the pack that I brought with me and pull out the magical research notes we found back in the hot spring.
He looks a little bit taken aback. Those have been missing for many, many years. Where did you find them?
In a lost hot spring on the other side of the continent.
Was
Dwarven
anybody
Health
with them?
Spa.
What was that, GM?
Was anybody with these?
No, nothing alive.
If I may?
I hand them over. I memorized them.
He sort of shuffles through them, and he's like, sad to have lost the researcher, but it is good to have the research back.
Yeah, because it's becoming increasingly relevant.
So what news from your travels?
What what do you know about the Crimson Crescent?
Ugh, a distasteful bunch,
That's one word for them.
but they have not proven themselves until today of any real consequence here in Lithia.
Oh, well, let me tell you of additional consequence.
Let's
Yeah,
fill
it's
in.
not just Lithian that's the problem.
But remember, they're misled. They're not necessarily Crimson Crescents like they truly believe.
Not all of them,
The
no.
ones
but
here, maybe, but the other ones?
the ones who've been breaking chains and severing and warping magic and tearing at the
The
weave.
ones on stilts are not Crimson Crescents.
But they are who have infested the Crimson Crescent and have turned it towards what we must eradicate. They are the weeds in the grass, are they not?
Maybe it's time for all of us to have a seat and lay everything on the table so that we all know everything.
Yeah, that would be
I think we've just
ideal.
blown Sir Morgan's mind here.
So you're going how much what parts how much are you gonna give? I won't make you rehash the whole thing. What level of information are you giving? Like, are you going high level, or are you getting into specifics about places?
Of the people that we run into so far, this person seems to be the only one with the skill and experience that could really help us.
One moment, please.
Have to know.
Here we
Yes.
go. Back again. Sorry about that.
Not a problem. A high level debrief of like, hey, this is what we've done. This is the experience. This
This
is
is what
you know.
we've seen. This is what we've
We're
extrapolated.
not going over what Thea has agreed to.
I'm not touching that yet, because that is
No.
a side issue for the
Sidebar.
moment.
So
Uh,
basically, anything related to chains, circles, people that are allergic to the ground, and that they seem to be coupled with the Crimson Crescent. Is that all fair?
I will bring out my notes from all of the rituals and all of the magical incantations that I've been recording, plus I have the start of the golden tablet, which is broken, as well as the root tender's guide, which I am compiling with all these other notes to try and fix the groves.
And we believe if we do not fix the groves and this continues,
It's going to get worse.
the prime material plane may end as we know it.
Correct.
Possibly the
As
mall.
soon as you say that, he actually does the finger thing with his other hand.
No, righty's got involved. Okay.
Uh-oh.
What do you know of the history of this particular world?
Oh, I'm for some reason my mind is thrown back to the tapestry that a former companion of ours had cleaned up from actually from where I believe we found your notes, if I
Yes.
recall.
Hmm.
Can you describe the tapestry?
It
This is
was
interesting.
I believe, a Elspeth, your memory may serve us better here, but I believe
Yeah.
it was a map of planes or a retelling
It
of
was the golden circle and how all the religions are unified together.
we got
The
something else.
interconnectivity of it all. Yeah, that sounds about right. And Elspeth's going to spout out detail.
What if I told you we needed to separate the weave from the chains?
What's their relationship now?
The weave and the chains are the same. The
Okay.
weave has been intertwined with the chains.
All right.
From
How
all of
Okay.
the
and to
information
what
that
end?
you have just added to the pieces of the puzzle that we have had,
Who is we?
Yeah.
my associates,
Do they have a name?
others who study with me. friends.
Golden others?
No,
Crimson others?
No.
not at all.
Okay.
Viral others.
Crimson
Did you happen
Crescent
to
are a distasteful bunch.
did you have a spire at some point?
You know the history, or at least the myth.
You happen to be why we're here. Correction. You happen to be why she is here, and she is why we are here.
I see.
I have been looking for you for a while.
Sorry, we found the letter. We haven't read it, but you know.
Our history, the society, is a little bit different than the other stories that perhaps you've heard. The political theater that you witnessed is just that, political theater. It drives the ruling group of Lithia. And that drive does not have space or does not allow for true power, wizardry. Hold on one moment, please.
Please have more questions later.
Here we go.
Everything this is gonna be fun.
True power was driven out isn't particularly the right phrasing. We made something of a deal. And the spire ceased to be. Our tower is gone. Well, at least as far as everyone knows.
It's gone from here.
Hidden homes are the best.
Perhaps this would be a better conversation if we moved to somewhere where we could have dinner. You guys, your group has been at it for a while, going through all the notes, going through all the pieces.
Yeah.
Dinner.
If you're willing to travel with me again,
Yes.
he goes and he says, if you'll give me a moment, I will get changed so that I can appropriately bring us to where we need to be.
You know, I would normally ask how a change of clothes will change how you're able to take us to our destination, but at this point in time, by all means.
Was he out of the room?
So he actually steps to one of the doors. Actually, pointer. He steps to this door over here. Through the door, closes the door behind him. And it only takes a few moments.
Well,
I-
this seems
Take a moment to just go to shadowing and go like, how are you handling all this?
She is still very much in shock.
I love the entourage.
You know,
Thea wants to look at the robe.
Oh, of course she does.
And I want to look
I
at Thea
said
looking at the
look.
robe.
with your eyes, not your hands.
and I'm
Well,
looking
you
at
know what? I got to touch it and see. I
Uh-huh.
didn't say I was going to take it.
Are
I
you
just wanted
going to touch
see and admire.
I'm
Yeah.
fairly certain the things you touch will be known.
You get an immediate shudder right up your arm, and you have the overwhelming sense that touching this is a very bad idea.
Is it similar to what my ring was?
No.
Oh, okay.
So I am going to.
No.
I hope.
Yeah, we'll not touch it again.
Let me see if I can
It's
do this real
amazing.
quick.
DM, are you sure you want to do this?
When Morgan strolls back out,
Oop.
he is dressed up.
Ooh. I didn't realize that Hero Forge had a new base.
He has significantly more in terms of accoutrement. He swings back around, picks up his staff, grabs his robe, throws that one around the old shoulders,
Looking snazzy.
and I will let you go back to your screen, sir.
Oop.
Sorry, I preempted, but
No.
that's the easiest way to describe.
You're good. We like pictures.
As he strolls back around, and let me grab his personage. As he strolls back around, he comes over here
Hmm.
to this little archway with a curtain.
Mm-hmm.
I'd swear you all to secrecy, but I don't think I really need to. You'll get it, and then you'll understand. Shall we? And he pulls the curtain aside,
Mhm.
and with his other hand, he has, it looks like a piece of chalk. And
Does
he
this
makes,
look like? I'm
what's
sorry.
that?
Does this look like the other gateway that we'd seen in that basement? Different
Remarkably similar,
Hmm.
but not nearly so bent.
Makes sense. Like an uncorrupted form of a gateway.
He takes the chalk, makes a couple of little marks, wipes them off with his other hand. This little curtained area does the same thing as if you've seen Stargate.
Yeah, okay.
It does one of those. He just turned it on.
Hmm.
With me, please.
I hold out a hand of shadow wings. You ready for something even more amazing?
And he will usher you all through.
Shoot, shoot, shoot.
And then we go to Theater of the Mind. As you exit the other side of this gateway, you step out into an absolutely opulent round room. And there are a handful of other people there sitting at various tables. It almost looks like a casual dining restaurant kind of thing. Except it is really wealthy.
So like one of the elite private club vibes.
Yes, very
But not
much so.
gaudy.
Not gaudy, expensive. And he leads you all up around, there's a curving stair on the outside, and he brings you up to the next level. There's a nice seating area with some windows there. And he brings you all over to another seating area, which has a windowed view of the other side of Lithian. Do any of you have sort of a direction sense, sort of a thing?
I always know where north is.
But do you have, is there more to it than that?
It's part of my keen mind, which is what allows me to keep things memorized for so much longer. So, I mean,
Does it require a roll or is it an automatic skill?
automatic.
You are more than a little bit stunned at where you presume your location is. Any guesses?
Above
Middle of the water.
The remains of the tower.
what I was about to say.
Yes. Yes, that's exactly where you are. You are in
Hidden
the
in plain
exact
sight.
you're in the exact spot of the burned out tower remains. Only this
Yeah.
tower is not burned out. It is not gone. And it continues to go up above you, spiraling into the distance.
Hide in plain sight.
That's cool.
Heck of a paint job.
So, we as a society have maintained our presence here. And we have continued to do deep research into why it is that we can't seem to connect to any other place than here. Traveling the way we just traveled, shifting from one place to another, should work here on this world. But if you understand any multiverse theory or phasing or planar movements or any of those sorts of things, and he just sort of like gets rambly for a second,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's
Yeah.
like, so basically, we can't connect. There's no way that we have been able to find to get out.
Have you connected to other realms by any chance?
No. And they can't get in.
Allegedly.
So traveling with, when you're talking about traveling, you're traveling not just within Lithia, but you're talking about within the rest of this world. And then
Anywhere in this-
multi-planar travel to other realms.
Anywhere within this world, we can travel the way we just traveled, to some degree, greater or lesser.
But you can't go elsewhere.
There are no ways to get to other worlds that we have been able to find. You can get small shifts, small pockets. You can get differences. But even the most experienced of us cannot break through. And what you have just given me with these notes and all of that other description is more proof that there is some form of shield holding this whole world together.
Why isolate the prime material plane?
I can
But
think of
we
a
are
few
not
reasons.
the whole plane. We are just this world and a small range around it.
Oh,
We believe, and it is difficult to say, the Crimson Crescent is not entirely without merit. Just because they are crazy does not mean they are wrong.
Hold on.
I wonder where that blood portal went.
Portal?
Sorry, one thing at a time. Still trying to unpack the Crimson Crescent art wrong thing. You mean the group that seems hell-bent on destroying, at least as what we currently understand is unraveling reality as we know it and bringing their god here.
What do you know of their god?
From
Not
the
much.
pamphlets,
From the pamphlets.
I've read things from their pamphlets, but that's about it. They've usually been a little too busy trying to kill us to really proselytize.
But we also don't know if it was the contaminated crimsons attacking us versus the real ones. They get kind of gray area.
Okay, let's assume very little.
Let's assume, what's that?
Very
Let's
little
assume we know
knowledge of the
very
Crimson
little.
Crescent God.
Are any of you followers of Nox?
Oh, I have the book.
We had a companion.
No, he
I
wasn't.
have some
Knox.
totems.
Oh no, he wasn't Nox. He
No.
was the god of knowledge. Never mind.
Yeah.
He is gonna search around on her like necklaces and find the necklace of Nox. This one, right?
Zoop, zoop, zoop.
You straight up turned into Benny from the Mummy.
You are Benny.
Yeah.
Benny.
Benny.
I'm on the wrong side of the river.
The temple of Nox that was desecrated by the demon woman who slithered into the stones, and that's
She was
the
on
Nox.
stilts too.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
certainly have had some adventures.
Oh,
Yeah, some woman with stilts.
pull up a bottle and we'll go ahead and talk.
He gestures. He's like, "We need to talk. Let's have a bottle." No worries. I'm buying.
Many thanks.
By the way, you don't happen to have a bank here, do you?
He actually reaches, like, rummages around in a pocket, and he pulls out this square-ish bronze coin, and he just drops it on the table. He says, "Go to the vault. It's easier."
Take a coin.
What did you ask
Can
for?
I get one of those?
No.
I asked if I because we haven't even gotten back to Mouse to give him the Twilight Codex as of yet. We still haven't gotten the bank, which is the whole reason we got entangled in this mess.
We just found another way to get entrance, and now we can negotiate whether or not we want to give Mouse the Twilight Codex.
Correct.
Correct.
Do you say any of this out loud?
No.
Please no.
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 Okay.
No, I just see the coin go across, and I mentally am making note that we now have leverage on Mouse. That's all.
Yes.
Yes.
Just want to make sure.
Oh, heck no.
We're not telling him about the
we're
Twilight
not there
Codex.
yet.
No, no thanks. We're not there in our
No,
relationship.
I know a really funny way to break it to him if I really wanted to.
No, let's not.
So Nox, also known as the Traveler,
Mhm.
is not really the Traveler.
What?
The Traveler is the reason this world is here.
By here, do you mean exists in general, or here as in
Exists.
it's?
In general and in total.
Oh, okay.
Because the Traveler is contained here. The chained god is the Traveler.
And he's stuck here.
He and his book of infinite places were wreaking such havoc with his travel that once further back in this world's history, this world didn't exist, but a certain group brought it into existence, forcing the Traveler to be contained and then chained within, to stop the accidental destruction in his wake, traveling from place to place. The Council of Emerald Thorns deemed it necessary to keep him chained to avoid further destruction.
Sorry, what was the group?
Council of Emerald Thorns.
Thank you. Sorry.
Which means the breaking of the chains here could be unleashing the prison for the Traveler.
It is indeed the Traveler's prison, but they have interwoven the magic of the world with that cage. Break one, break the other.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I
So
imagine
chains are broken, the Traveler is freed, destruction continues. The Traveler leaves, we disappear. Am I following the sequence of events correctly?
Perhaps we disappear. Perhaps we get dragged along in his wake to crash together again in another world.
That
Ooh,
doesn't
I
seem like a
wonder what
very
we
pleasant
find.
experience.
This
So you-
world is a calamity. It started as an implosion. There are bits and pieces from many, many realms that are this world.
Okay.
So I'm in a very similar vein as Elsbeth. So roll this back to the beginning. Instead of what we originally thought of their god being chained inside of some other outer realm, which they've been trying to bring here, their god is stuck in here and trying to get out. We're stuck in prison with it, not the other way around.
Thank you for the line from the Watchmen.
Yeah.
And
So, centuries ago, what if the Council of Emerald Thorns began a certain religious group to maintain the balance of the world, therefore securing this prison forever and ever?
Motherfucker. Sorry, continue.
Thus, the Golden Circle.
So to say the Golden Circle are the wardens of this prison, is that a fair analogy?
That is
Yeah,
a fair
that's-
analogy. They are the wardens, but only to a degree.
How much are the wardens beholden to their original task at this point in time? And how much have they skewed from their true purpose?
do they even know what it was?
That is a fair and insightful question. And it is something that is impossible to know without penetrating the group.
When you say penetrating the group, what is it you mean?
Do you want to be a member of the Golden Circle?
I was a member of the Golden Circle.
And you are now not that.
Correct.
Correct.
We'll cite ideological differences.
Precisely. Ideological differences that at their root, pardon the pun, are significantly different than what may or may not have been their original purpose.
Mm.
So this traveler, what is he known to look like? Skills? What are his antics?
Antics.
You say he brings chaos.
He is mighty among wizards, if that is what you mean, or was. The legends say that every place he visited, he would add a page to his book. To the point where there is no ending of pages in his book.
And all of that collective information started intermixing and going haywire? Is that what I'm gathering here?
Well, magical property, if you remove something from one place, something has to then fill that void.
Yes, equivalent exchange.
But how big is the pull? And how much are you pulling every time you move? At what point does it become accidental catastrophe?
Because I can't recreate the facial expressions Elspeth's going to be doing at that moment. The light bulb has gone off of the, oh God, I get it now. And I'm going to just player speak here. It's like it's becoming a black hole, basically. It's
Right.
just it's hitting a critical mass to the point where it draws into itself, dragging everything else with it.
Every time he steps.
Okay.
So the realms he visits disappear into the book,
Or
and calamities in its wake.
or other worlds collide together. Or at least that's what the legends say. I wasn't there.
Incursions.
Elsbeth speaking here. I am mildly disturbed that something on this great a scale closely mirrors my specialization of magic.
Huh. So here's the challenge. We, other members of the society, have been endeavoring to track down a great amount of this history, trying to track things like who were the members of this council, how long ago was this, and those who have the memories, who could be significantly longer lived than many of us.
Oh, it's the
Oh
elves.
no.
We've been unable to find them.
They're
Except
an ungrateful lot. You're doing better without them.
Everybody hates the elves. What's the deal? Dwarves
Have
lived
you-
for a while too, you know.
Have you been around elves?
Yes, frequently.
Says the elf.
Yes,
Yeah, it's like-
exactly.
It's like being on holiday with Germans.
And as
There's
a
one thing,
very
and,
side
and-
right
and if
there.
there's one
Now,
thing I
that is
can't
not a
stand,
very funny joke.
yes, and if there's one thing I can't stand, it's intolerance and the Dutch.
Um, so if we could find more from them, more history, perhaps we could get more answers. We have some people who are on that search. If we could find out more about how we could separate magic from this cage, keep the weave, save the world, deal with the traveler as a different problem, that would be good, but that is an enormous challenge.
Save the world. Okay, you know what? I like that as a motto.
Do wizards have the power to check through the history of items? Like if they have an item, can they see like a history of that item?
Some can.
Lord.
Is that a player question or a character question?
Yes.
Yes,
Transmitted
was
property
a little
of
bit
yes.
yeah.
All right.
Hold on, let me look at Thea's backstory first before I open my mouth up further. Because I mean, I do technically have something that would be from my mother
To which the
that I
answer-
borrowed that she treasured dearly before I left.
Fuck
the
you,
clear
Mom.
answer to that question is yes, but not at this level.
Okay.
So we can't. However, members amongst the Spire Society, on the other hand, well within their wheelhouse. Theoretically.
We have been struggling with certain aspects, certain directions of our research have been troubled by disruptions in the weave. Are you at all familiar with any of these disruptions?
Yes, we were at 2 of them.
We,
Yeah, I
we've
was
seen
gonna
a few
say.
snags in the quilts.
We
Yeah,
we
we
failed
can-
to stop those.
We can list off 2 major ones and say, does this sound like the disruption you speak of?
Nearly turned me
Wow.
into a damn bush.
Okay. Um, that sounds correct, but at a much larger scale.
Ours were, or the things you're dealing with.
The things that things. One in particular,
Okay.
and it is troubling. Our research has led us to believe that there are certain points where this prison, there are certain power points, if you will, that are much, much greater than any others nearby, sort of pins, if you will.
Okay.
One of those seems to be broken already.
Oh,
Probably 2 of them.
Much larger scale than what you have described.
no.
Much.
Oh wait, there's a
larger.
third one because don't forget the Temple of the Willing had one too.
Yep.
Temple of the Willing. Now there's a name I haven't heard for a long time.
Yeah.
Didn't go there, did you?
Sure did.
We got stuck under the temple that was built on top of it, and
Well, no, you say stuck. The Golden Circle tried to kill us by throwing us under there and closing us in the hole. Yeah.
Circumstances, I see.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, there was some decisions made there.
He is
Thea's
dead
just
on
gonna
looking at Thea. Like
Thea's just gonna giggle.
he's not even looking away.
So
Die.
do you
Knows her
Die.
well.
Die.
so do you want to tell him or do you want me to? Seeing as this is
What's
a
there to tell? I just walked into a circle.
and you let
You
someone
know,
out. Or
yeah, someone
something
now has
out.
access to the world. He's an absolute menace, but I don't know his name. But he's a real pain in the ass to deal with.
You didn't even get his name.
I believe when you remembered when they first commended me for asking your name before, and I had to say I'm slow, but I do learn. This was the learning point.
GM
That
question.
was the lesson.
You have stunned this guy. Like you've not seen him flap at all. He seemed unflappable, and he's just like, oh
Game Master, I have a question.
yeah.
We met the dude at one of the other dungeons we were at, the one that and I asked him what to call him. Because I didn't ask for his name, but I asked for an identifier because I knew he wouldn't give me a straight answer if I asked for his name. What was
Right.
his answer? I do not remember.
I don't think you got an answer. I think there was a
He
firefight
did
at
it.
the
He
time,
avoided it.
He avoided it.
and he
And,
died.
No, I think
Yeah.
someone else might have interrupted, but
Yeah, me. Mostly because the only reason I didn't is because that thing scares the shit out of me.
yeah. So
you know his
Elspeth was
name?
going to chime in and say,
No.
I tried to get something to refer to him by, but was interrupted.
Another player on the board. His
We could
name,
at least
or at
describe
least
you,
a portion of his name, you can call him Maz.
Maz.
As.
M-A-Z.
What is Maz? A
On
devil.
the
Maz is very powerful, and very dangerous.
We got that.
And I would endeavor to avoid future contact.
On the
Just
stuff-
You might
slow
wanna
crane to
wrap
look
up
at
your
Thea.
Feelings with him.
Elspeth, what?
First player question.
Okay.
The ritual we disrupted under the rich person's house
Uh-huh.
was connected to the dude Thea's working with, or is now connected to as a warlock, right?
Mm-mm.
No.
We never
Okay.
ascertained that. We asked and did not think that it did based on what we saw. Is that fair, GM?
Yes.
Because I remember us
didn't think
asking the question.
It was similar, but not the same.
It wasn't, yeah.
If it was meant to be the same, it was very, very broken.
Okay. Okay, well, speaking of extra powerful entities, we did disrupt a rite trying to summon something last night.
And we've also discovered some alchemical work to try and bring something into this realm or send people out of it.
And where was this?
If we tell you, do you promise to note that we were never there and that you never got this information from us? Because it technically was acquired during a crime.
Azathan, we're in an invisible tower.
I understand that, but
Discretion is part of the game here.
reasonable. So we were in the manor. Oh, what were their names?
The Santa Bertini. And I
Thank
step
you.
in and
Yes.
say it.
Thank you. Oh, that's right.
Bertini-
Bertini Manor.
Yes.
There were two rituals. One, there was one on the top floor and one in the basement. We disrupted the one in the basement and gallantly handled the one on the top floor.
And the top floor, as we heard about it, was trying to make something appear from the ethereal and was going to take whatever they were able to allow that to happen down to the basement to help bring in the god that these Crimson Crescent worshippers thought they could bring in. What they ended up bringing in was not quite it. They
So
brought in
didn't-
something. Yeah, they brought in something that looks like a cockroach's cloaca, and we dispatched it.
We then killed it.
That sounds. He just shakes his head. He's like, that sounds like we're in need of further investigation.
Exactly my point.
Yes, which is why I decided to bring it up while we were talking about.
We didn't
All
let
the
it fully
resources.
manifest because that seemed like that would be a bad idea.
Disrupted the manifestation is good because there are things mixing in amongst the shell.
Since we've been on this, I will say adventure only loosely. We've seen shambling towers of people flesh, monstrosities assembled from outside of the planes, the fabric of reality unraveling and turning people, namely me, into bushes, and just
You were a tree.
it was a
You were
bad
tree
time.
with big feet.
It's been a bad time.
You see as he does this with his right hand,
His
Mhm.
withered, burnt right hand.
magic does have costs.
Yes, so we've seen.
You know,
However,
palm-footed trees.
they should be more predictable than that and less twisted.
Yes.
I have a number of avenues to pursue with this. Are there any particular avenues that are of interest to you?
I need to find more of the rituals about healing and reconnecting the roots in these groves that have been severed.
With our theory being that if we can manage to revitalize those, that we will not be preventing the weave from being separated from the prison, and that it would be a delaying tactic. Are we in error thinking that?
We can heal some of the damage that was done.
Yeah. We figure if we do that, it forces them to do more things while you're busy doing what you're doing. Because I don't think we're going to be much help to you, but we can definitely be an irritant to those that are opposing you.
Oh, we're good irritants.
So that's the truth.
You're known to be quite vexing. Excellent. I will need to do a little more research into some specific things, but there seem to be these pins that I was referring to.
Yes.
They seem to be of some significantly larger size than what you have encountered already. And there may or may not be other guardians involved. I think, and this is unfounded speculation, we have no research backing this up, but I think there was good intention at the beginning that
Oh,
the
always is.
Council of Emerald Thorns actually created a separate security system out, some portion of that outside of their direct control.
Who watches the Watchers? Yeah.
But those particular instances may be the parts where greater conflict is happening. We don't have any confirmation of that. Perhaps we could use you to gather some more information about these particular instances.
That seems like that would be given what we've been able to get up to, that seems like that would be an appropriate use of our skills.
So we keep them from pulling the pin while you figure out how you can disarm the grenade.
Well, the other aspect of this is it would do us a lot of good to be able to speak to people who have been around significantly longer. If we could track down some of the elves.
So find the old ones. Okay.
Find the old ones is another option.
Great. Look over it. So yeah. So are you looking to see your parents anytime soon?
I doubt they would be thrilled to see me.
All the
Right,
more reason to
well-
bring us along.
Great, then I will go find mine.
Thea's gonna
Um,
think a bit. Or DM, hold on. I'm gonna message you.
Okay.
As that,
Yes.
you mentioned circumstances about life and death to us. This seems like a good group of people to possibly ask about that.
Yes, amongst many things. I don't imagine we'll be leaving from here as soon as this conversation is over. I may ask that we have an opportunity to do some reading around,
Come on.
if that's acceptable. And to buy time for player to talk to the DM about things later on when I remember them.
Okay.
Your dog,
So
your dog followed her upstairs.
Oh no.
You're in bother her, so I'm leaving her in here with you.
Oh, you're leaving her in here.
No, him.
Oh, well then can you lift him up?
Oh!
He's fine. He's fine. Hang on one moment. We have a miscreant.
Hello, puppers.
No, hi there.
He's getting into too much trouble, so he's been banished to a prison of this plane.
Look, it's the
Excellent.
traveler.
I thought it'd be taller.
I think we're at a relatively reasonable spot here,
Yes.
coming up on our time. But as we get there,
Oh shit, yeah. Sorry.
more research, more information needed. Time spent here, spending time about the city seems completely reasonable. And he pulls out a pin and hands it to Elsbeth and says, "This should get you the right conversations, but keep it to yourself otherwise." And he hands you a Spire Society pin.
So
And with that, I'm going to